Hello and welcome back to Nadya's Identity Files. I have with me the beautiful and accomplished
Thank you so much,
Nadya. And you're not used to being the interviewee, huh?
I am not. So this is going to be very exciting. I'm actually kind of nervous to be the interviewee today because I'm usually in your hot seat, right?
Right. I love it. Well, I mean, you do so much. You're a TV host, you're a reporter, Emmy-nominated producer, and an actress. I mean, did you always intend on being this multidimensional with everything you're doing?
You know, that's a great question. Actually, when I first started out, I just had the intention of being a broadcaster. I'm a storyteller. I wanted to share people's stories. I love interviewing. So I didn't really set on this course to be, involved in all those things. But I think through the journey, you just find different avenues and things come to you. I mean, even yesterday I was on set filming Dice for Showtime. And if you talk to me a year ago, it's a show.
I'm so out of the loop.
With Andrew Dice Clay, and this is the second season. Yeah, so it's fun. But again, if you talked to me a year ago, that's not something I would have anticipated. So I think what's great about being in the entertainment industry is you get the opportunity to explore these different avenues and you run with some of the things that come your way.
And I think having that intersection makes us more dynamic in other, the acting experience makes us more dynamic in, say, your journalistic pursuits.
Absolutely.
And vice versa. I mean, I never intended on, transitioning so hard into journalism and production and hosting. Like, I always thought I was just going to be an actor and a model when I came here. So
and that's what you think sometimes. I think, and you're right, you just don't know. And I think it's fun. It's fun. The more experiences you gain, I think it just makes you a more diversified person.
Oh, for sure. And we need more of that. We're going to really talk about that. And it's really, as I was talking earlier in my intro, it's not just with respect to ethnic diversity. There's other types of diversity that I think that there is a dearth of, especially in the entertainment industry. And speaking of, I'd like to show your entertainment reel.
Okay.
Hey, let's show it.
Thank you, Nadya.
Yes.
Welcome to Hollywood, the fabled American city where dreams come true. Yahoo caught up on all the Hollywood action at the star-studded premiere of Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Hey everyone, it's Rasha. I'm down here at the Golden Globes red carpet. I cannot wait to share all my exciting interviews with all of you.
As someone who's a L'Oreal ambassador, you've got to give us one beauty tip before you head out.
Okay, I really believe in the fact that you should keep it simple.
I understand in this film, you actually insisted on a raw slab of bison liver. So I'm curious to know, when you make a decision like that, are you 100% confident that you'll be able to deliver on set? Or is there ever a change of mind, or you might back out? Because most people might.
Well, the bison liver was only because it just didn't look real. The thing that they gave me didn't look real.
Either of you ever been to India or heard of Bollywood?
I've never been to Indywood. I've never been to
That's a new one.
Indywood. That is a good one.
That is a good one.
I just came up with that.
I grew up in Indywood.
What about bringing the Black Widow into the mix of the things? I mean, she's the only female, and you've got this whole male-dominated arena. How was that?
It was very important to me that, we obviously have a female Avenger.
If you could play any other character or...
Wow, you talk to everybody. What was it like talking to Leo?
Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. He is such an accomplished person and a very intelligent person. Yes. So I got to tell you, though, you have to know your material going in. I mean, it can be intimidating sometimes because you don't want to look stupid in front of these actors, you know. And some of the people, you don't want to ask them fluff, irrelevant questions, especially for a film that he had done. So, but yes, I'm going to admit, I mean, he was great eye candy to look at, and he was very friendly. So I definitely did have fun with that one.
Oh, I would for sure. Brad Pitt's next on your list. That'll be the next one. He's single now, so there you go. Just keep an eye out for that one. So we're talking about, on this episode, Asian Indian identity, and in the context of the entertainment industry. You're super accomplished. You've done a lot of work, but I'm sure that you've dealt with some pushback in times in your career. Is that so?
Well, I think working in the entertainment industry itself is a challenge, right?
Absolutely.
And whether you're a broadcaster, an actor, a producer, I think we've all kind of felt that. And I think there were opportunities when I started out earlier. The competition, I am. when I came up in the market too, they weren't, and even now, actually, if you look at it, how many South Asian entertainment hosts do you really see? I mean, even at this time in television, I could say we're lacking that. And we need that. We don't have a huge Asian representation in the entertainment reporting world. Yeah. So I think that's one thing that's still happening. As a reporter, yes, I mean, I would be competing with a lot of different, races or multi-ethnic people. And I think because people couldn't really understand the Indian market or who I was.
Right.
It was like, well, we'll just kind of pass on her because, we know that we have the Caucasian market or the African American market.
Right.
So I think I definitely have faced that challenge and that pushback in a lot of places, but I've just kept the hustle going.
You have to keep the hustle going.
Absolutely.
Have you ever felt on the other side that you've been chosen just because you have this background? And has that ever been kind of frustrating for you?
I think that's so interesting you mentioned that because I think now, the time that we live in now, more on the acting side, the ethnically ambiguous is casually posted in all the castings, right? It's like, what does that mean?
What does that mean? It could mean so many different things.
Well, it does. And that's why when you walk into an audition room, I mean, you have the entire gamut there. So I think that does... I mean, I hate to say it, but yes, I do feel like lately it has played in my favor. I mean, I've booked a couple of TV shows playing a female reporter or anchor, but they wanted somebody who was ethnic. I wouldn't say necessarily that was an Indian casting, but it more was an ethnically ambiguous.
Right, exactly. So, I mean, you've worked for South Asian networks and obviously American networks. Is there like a big distinction between the feeling of working from one or the other?
Nadia, you're going to get me in trouble here.
I'm digging in.
I think...
Lay it out.
Well, here's what happens. You're working with two different cultures. Okay, so at the end of the day, news is news, and we're reporting. I feel that with the South Asian news, it is a little bit more sensationalized at times.
Yeah.
At times. And here's what I'm going to say to that. Because, we are working on a time difference, for example, sometimes when I'm reporting out here and I need to get the news there isn't always that understanding of a cameraman may not be available 11 o'clock at night when you're calling me at 10:30, or I may not be able to pull this together. I mean, I do my best to do that, but because of the time difference, sometimes there's that lack of understanding.
So you were going abroad though for these?
A lot of it's from here usually. I do the international correspondent work from here and sending it in. But it's a lot of fun because of course it's two different audiences, and then even with the South Asian market, I was doing a lot of Bollywood news, so it's entertainment news and it's fun. Of course, both cultures, there's different styles of working, there's different ways of working, and you always have to cater your news to that audience, whereas maybe we might have more of a serious topic. So I think they both have their own importance and appreciation, but again, you always have to kind of work your way because, culturally, you need to adapt to the audience and to the people that you're working with. And so I have that understanding now. Now I know that, okay, well, that's the time difference. That's just how they work. I have to kind of communicate that.
What is the big difference between the people that you're working with?
As far as talent that I interview or just the...
from the behind the scenes.
From behind the scenes.
Between those two different realms.
But I don't think there's too much, honestly. Because when you're working with camera guys and sound people and writers, everyone is talent and everyone's a team, and we're trying to just put out this material and make sure.
That's refreshing to hear.
Yes, our networks get it. So I've actually been very fortunate and have worked with some amazing people, both from India as well as here in Hollywood.
That's terrific. That's what I want to hear. I don't want to hear horror stories.
No. I miss some of the people I've worked with in India, so it's been amazing for me. I've been very blessed. Yeah,
I mean, you have such a dynamic background and so many different, in terms of where you've worked.
Yes.
So it's again, going back to how if you're acting, you can attribute that experience over to your journalistic work. You can do that with the different networks and cross-cultural references. So obviously I am intrigued about a horror story though, because I just feel like this stuff it needs to be exposed and talked about more. So much is swept under the rug. Hollywood is a very smoke and mirrors place, even though there's a lot of great in it. It is what it is. I myself have dealt with a lot of misogyny and sexism when I was acting,
Okay.
which was part of what made me want to just get the F out of that industry,
Right,
to be
right.
honest. So could you share an experience wherein you have dealt with any implicit or explicit bias because of your identity?
Because of my, well, so not so much on the reporting side, but I will say within acting, yes. I actually was at a casting workshop, and this casting director just blatantly, every time I would come up, he would make a reference to me not being white. And there were a good,
Seriously?
35 people, and they were horrified. And so, I let it go the first time because I had to come down and read a scene with another person, and he definitely made, well, okay, and it's another person of color. And I just thought that was
My
obnoxious.
God.
Like, how
he
blatantly-
white?
He was white.
Oh,
And he's an
God.
older casting director. So the second
Worse.
time I had to come read, yes, I actually said, you do know, sir, that ethnically ambiguous is in, so I'm hot commodity right now. And I did get a couple of, smiles from the audience.
That's
and
awesome.
It was so nice afterwards because I did have a lot of actors come up to me and say, you handle that very professionally.
Yeah.
Instead of having a blowout or
Exactly.
insulting him. But I will tell you, it was one of the first few times that I actually did go up to the higher ups management and I spoke to
complain.
them that if a person is going to have a casting workshop and you're going to have people of different ethnic backgrounds in there,
Right.
your casting director really needs to know how to handle it. And it was funny because at the end of it, he tried to cover it up by saying, well, I'm casting a movie and they have all white actors in it, but I told them we needed diverse characters. And I thought,
God, no.
are you
That
trying to
in
cover
a-
up for the
that's a
hoopla you
micro-
just did?
That's a microaggression.
Absolutely. So I think, if you know how to carry and handle yourself, I think it can work to your favor. But that was one of the few times that I really felt it. And I thought, I'm actually going to be a voice this time. I'm not just going to deal with this and walk out of this workshop. I'm going to make sure that somebody hears how I have to feel about this.
Absolutely. Good for you. I love that you said that. I'm a hot commodity.
I did. I couldn't believe I said that. It just came out
It
at that
just
time.
flowed.
It came out of the gut.
That's like so eloquent. Yes. And hey, yeah, you are. I mean, not just because of your ethnic background, but just because you are. It's like, come on, like all this like talk.
It's like, get it together, buddy.
Serious. Yeah. I mean, clearly he was the only hot mess on the stage. And yeah, he needed to cast himself out of that stage. Hopefully that has happened by now.
Well, I don't know what movie he's working on at
Right.
this time.
Well,
so.
there you go. Well, thank you so much for your
Such a pleasure,
time.
Nadya.
We're going to dig in more during the roundtable conversation, and I'll be back soon.
All right. Thank you, Nadia.